For photos from the Bowers family, and I've decided today I'm going to show you the best and the worst. And there's 4 things that we're going to talk about in particular that you can work on. So all of these 1 stars are my examples that should help you see how to improve. So 1 second, it's opening. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, so one of the main points is putting stuff in front of the subjects. So in this picture, there's this bush in front of the family, and in front of these portraits, oh come on, computer. Okay, in front of these portraits, there's the evergreen boughs that are coming down. In front of this one, there's the branch in front of the little boy's face, and in here there's this little branch in front of mom and daughter. So sometimes putting stuff in front works and sometimes it doesn't. I don't have any problem obviously with you trying stuff out. I feel like sometimes it's on purpose and sometimes it's on accident, you know, but like sometimes it can be kind of artistic and sometimes it's just distracting. So it's definitely worth taking the picture if you want to try it out, but make sure there's some variety. So if you take a picture with a bush in front, make sure you take one or try and take some without a bush, just so we can choose. So with a picture like this one up here in the corner, it's a smiley family portrait, and oh my god, the computer starts to malfunction as soon as I start to record, I swear. Okay, so with a family portrait like this, everyone's smiling, and the bush kind of adds depth, but it's not really necessary for this particular picture. It's not, do you see what I mean? It's not terrible, but it's not amazing, so it probably doesn't even really need to be there. With something more like the second picture, come on. There we go. Okay, this is more on the distracting level. Like, I can see how maybe you're trying to frame their faces with it, but in order to frame them, it needs to look more intentional. So maybe you need to step back further so that you can see it's more of a tree and the boughs are making a little window. If it's not happening for you naturally, probably just give up on it. So like it's because it's such a big thing. So if you're going to include such a big leaf in the picture, you want to make it work for you by not cropping mom in half there. Like this is better where now the boy is kind of cropped too much. So but he's also covered by the leaf, so you'd have to maybe walk to your left a little bit so that both of their faces have the leaves around. And see, this is better because there's some on the bottom and there's some on the top, so it's like a frame, whereas this one it's just coming down from the top, so it looks like some tree is reaching down and touching their heads, which is stranger. And then one down here like this one, this almost, it doesn't look intentional because there's so little of it. So yeah, there's just this one random branch going across. And I'm not saying it's ugly or anything. It's just when we're trying to be more intentional about it. Like if this leaf is going to be here, it's because you want it there, because it's making the picture better. And I don't know. See, there's just these little. There's not enough of it. It's like a leaf, a little twig, a random twig across the side. Oh, there's the desktop. Thanks, computer. Yeah. Come back. Okay, so it's more just being careful with what we put in front so that when something does go in front, it really makes it cool. Which on that same note, I'd say, like, see how these trees are kind of blurry? I think I usually prefer the blurry to actually just seeing the leaves, like in this picture or in this picture, because this is making you pay attention to the branch instead of paying attention to their faces. Whereas here, when it's blurry, it's creating a frame that draws your attention to their faces. So if that makes any sense, I hope that's helpful. Okay, so that's something I would say. If in doubt, probably don't put stuff in front of their faces unless you're experimenting just for a couple pictures. Alrighty, what else? 1 second while my computer literally takes a century. Okay, the next thing we're going to focus on is stuff behind. So it's the opposite problem, but you deal with it in the same way. So when we're taking pictures, we want to be really intentional about what we're putting in front of the camera. So that means bushes in front of people's faces, but also what's going on behind. Yeah, so I can't use this picture at all. It's super cute, but there's just so much going on in the back. So if there were nothing but trees behind, nothing but grass, if there were no people, I would love this picture. And I could still try and save it, but it's a lot of work for me. It adds like 10 or 15 minutes sometimes if it's bad, because I've got to carefully go in and remove things from like between their legs, and finding backgrounds that match. Like I have to make sure that the horizon line is there, and that if I replace the bench, that the tree limbs match up there, and so yeah, I'm sure that makes sense. But so in this kind of situation, if you really want them to stand here, what you might want to do is get down on your belly and then tilt the camera up towards the sky so that this beautiful tree here, because the leaves are gorgeous, you're focused up. So maybe you'd crop at their waist or something, and then you'd only see them and the tree, and you wouldn't see all the people walking behind. And obviously I can't get the same tilt, so we can't see extra tree, but it's basically, come on, oh my god. Okay, it's basically the idea of cropping out everybody. No, it's not gonna happen. Come on. I'm trying. Wow. Okay, I'm giving up. So that theme continues on everywhere, and especially when we're in a busy park. This is a great tutorial, isn't it? Fantastic. Okay, especially when we're in a busy park, there are going to be people. Oh my god. There are going to be cars and pathways, and like I understand that. So this kind of stuff in the back, you can't really help that, and that's totally fine, and that's actually really easy to get rid of. I won't even attempt to try it actually. I just use like a clone and heal tool because it can blend in really easily with these trees here, and I can just crop him out. So that doesn't matter so much. So this is okay stuff in the background versus this on the left, which is not so okay. Blah, blah, blah. And then, let me see if there's any other examples of that I was going to show you. Whenever the computer, gets around to it. Whatever. Dun, dun. You can just listen to me humming. Okay, let's see. No, that's not what I'm going to show you. Maybe here? Yeah. Okay, so with a bench, you got the house and the car behind. Again, it's not a huge thing. I can kind of crop and get rid of that stuff. But it's easier for me if you just walk around more to the left and focus with the trees behind, or if you stand right in front but get down low so that the bench blocks the houses. Like if you're down here in the corner shooting up this way, you'll see them and the tops of the trees, but from over here, the houses will be behind the bench and their bodies. So that's a good way to hide stuff like that. Okay, and then two other things I'm going to talk about. One is depth. So especially when we're shooting with the wide apertures, people get blurry. So daughter and son are in the front here, and mom and dad are blurry in the back. And that happens again here. And That probably happens again over here somewhere. Okay, so I'm going to open up this one too. Okay, so I was talking to you the other day about depth and how if you shoot from the side, it's nice when you focus on one person and they're clear and everyone else is fuzzy. So when you're doing a picture like this, obviously you're shooting from the side, which means dad is more out of focus if you're focusing on mom, and that's totally cool, and nobody's looking at the camera, so it doesn't matter. But for a shot like this is meant to be a smiley family shot that everyone's looking at the camera in. So if two people are smiling at the camera and they're blurry, it doesn't work. Same here. Everybody is supposed to be smiling at the camera in this picture. This type of picture is the type of picture where everybody should be in focus. Because what's the point otherwise, right? Because it's a smiley at the camera picture. There's nothing special happening other than a smile. But dad and mom are out of focus. And so the way that I deal with that is, if it's a situation like this, I have dad wrap his arms around everybody and lean forward, and I tell people to put their cheeks side by side, because if their cheeks are right next to each other, then they're usually all about the same distance from your camera. Also, here you're shooting kind of at a 45-degree angle to the family, like you're over here. But if you just, I'm not sure why you did it, but if you can, go right in front of the family. For smiley at the camera shots, like group shots like this, go straight on, and then everyone will be at the right angle. Because even a foot difference will make a big difference for the photography. So there's good depth and bad depth. Good depth is where you're shooting at an angle on purpose because you want someone to be blurry. Or here, in this kind of picture, if you had these two smiling and you had mom and dad kiss in the background, that would be kind of cute, because then the focus is here, but something's happening in the background. If it's out of focus and blurry, I consider it background. So you don't want anybody smiling at the camera in the background, right? That doesn't make any sense. Okay. The last thing I'm going to tell you about is when you find good light, stick with it, right? So here, mom and dad are in really bad light. The sun is super harsh. It's super bright here. It's super dark here. It's super bright, super dark. Mom has a sunspot on her cheek. Her eyes have shadow. You can see more wrinkle. You can see like more bag under eye. Like there's just a whole bunch of, and the skin tone is different. The light's very bad. But over here, when we were by the trees, this light is very beautiful because the sun is coming from behind them, but it's being filtered through trees. So the trees are glowy, which are like a signature of what we do, and we love it. The light on their faces and everything is even, and it's soft and creamy, and any light different, like dad's side of his face here is brighter, but that's okay because it's not a harshness, it's just a rim light coming from behind. Whoa. Okay. And then you get this, it's just a pretty depth because the background is glowing and their faces look smooth and they have a little bit of a rim light. Whereas here it's hard to look at because it's so harsh. So when you find the good light, don't leave it. I think sometimes photographers are thinking that they need more variety, and so to get variety they go to different locations. Like you take a picture in front of the willow tree and you're like, oh, that's great, but I can't do everything in front of the willow tree. I should go to the water. And then you end up moving like 10 different times and you only have great light in one picture in one location. I usually recommend, if you find a beautiful spot like this with the trees, stay there and make it work. Stay there for most of the time. And then if you do want a little variety, like they want to go to the water or something, and you see that the light is really bright by the water, only do that for like 5 minutes. And even here, the light's coming from this direction, so if you walked around to this way and took pictures that way into the light, then they'd be backlit and they'd be all glowy. So we never have to take pictures in this direct light. You can always find a direction that will make it softer. If in doubt, put the light behind them. Just backlight them. But if you're here in this situation and the light is beautiful, but there's all these people behind, don't give up. Like, stay where this light is beautiful. Maybe walk closer to the tree so it's just leaves behind. Or maybe have them face towards the water so that you're shooting back towards a tree or a grassy area where the people aren't, because the people are all up by the water. Like, make it work in the spot where the light is the best, because the light is the priority as the photographer. And also, like, this happened kind of halfway through the shoot, so like try and find this spot towards the beginning. So like when you arrive at the location, don't just start shooting anywhere random and hope that you'll come across good light. Like, tell the people, like, I need to take a minute, we're just going to look around. That's why I have everyone arrive 15 minutes early, so we actually have a chance to look around and take some pictures and find the good light. This is the spot where you want to get all the smiley pictures, so they have a really good quality family smiley picture in amazing light. And then all of the smaller groups, like mom with son, mom with daughter, dad with son, dad with daughter, mom and dad, daughter and son together, like both kids with dad, both kids with mom, all those important group pictures, do those in the beautiful light. And then while you're here, go ahead and also start getting playful ones. But we definitely don't want to do any smiley portraits in harsh light. Always here. And then there's this difference, right, between shooting under a tree versus shooting in front of a tree and where the light is coming from. So with these guys, they're underneath a tree in the dark, and this is bright back here. So it's telling me the light's coming from back there, right? Whereas here we're it's like you're backlighting them through a tree. So you really want to take this family and move them around behind. It's like you're taking the picture, stumbling, sorry. If you were taking this picture, to get it to look like this, you would have to be kind of over here underneath the tree where these people are, taking a picture that way. So you're not getting this light coming into the camera, you're cropping it out. You want to face the sun with your camera, block the sun with the tree, and put them in front of the tree to get the glowiness. And I'd always rather have the glowy than the dark shade, because this is beautiful, and there's nothing special about that dark tree, really. Okay, is that enough harshness? Real talk for you. So yes, so just to refresh, stuff in front, be intentional about it. Stuff behind, be intentional about where you place your subjects so that we don't have all that stuff behind. Be aware of what is good depth and what is bad depth. And when you find good light here, stick with it and avoid at all costs going to the harsh light. Okay, enough bad stuff. Let's quickly go over and look at what you did that was awesome. Okay, so these are my favorite pictures from the shoot. Pop up, pop up. These are the kind of pictures that show up on the blog. So you see how everyone has soft light on their face? So you did an awesome job. Nobody has bright, harsh sunlight. And you've put the leaves in a little arch over their head. So it's a nice frame. We're getting a little dangerous right there on her face, but whatever, we're good. And the light is coming through the trees and making them all glowy. And the background is not too much brighter than they are. It's really good. The next one. See, this is where we get into trouble. Dad's face now, in comparison to the previous picture, Dad's face is in harsh light. But I love what's going on here. And so I like that you had them having fun. Okay. Now these two, I cropped it. So this was a super cute pose where you had them cuddling. This picture was originally big like this, but I cropped it in because I love the focus being here, but you just see a little bit of everybody on the edges. So this is a picture you can take in camera, so I don't have to crop it, and you can take it just by moving in closer, but being intentional, right? So let's see here. I love this kind of detail shot that you got when Dad's holding him, because we also have a wider one, and then they go side by side, and they look so nice together. Da-da-da-da-da. See, it just makes you focus on the little thing. I love it. Okay, here is what I did to save this beautiful picture. So I removed all those people from the background. Do you remember they were there? because I love this light. It's so pretty. So there's the before. Come on. Come on. It's going to be dark because I think you were underexposed. Yeah, dark. So many people in the background. But we saved it. Ta-da! Took me like 20 minutes. So the more we can not have that problem, the better. That would be awesome. Okay, this is so great. I love these tickly kissy shots. I did crop it in. I think originally it was, it was much wider. So come on, computer, this is embarrassing. So it's not showing me, but I think we could see everything around their bodies. So I just cropped it in to be super close. So that's good. These pictures of the sun and the tree are so sweet, and the light is beautiful. See, this is where the sun is coming from behind them over the lake, right? Like this middle one is absolutely perfect. I love it. And I love how they're shooting over Dad's shoulder. It's a little bit bright on the boy's face, but it's so minor, it doesn't matter at all. I love how you had them get in the grass. See, this is adding depth now, but in a good way, because this bush is in front of them, but it's not random, because you can see that they are in the middle of a little forest. So this just adds cool depth. If this were in front of them and they were in the middle of the grass, there's no story about why there's something in front of them. This makes them feel like they've climbed into something jungly. You know what I mean? Alrighty, cool. Such beautiful light here. I love how you have them walk away from the camera and come back. And this is a situation of gorgeous light. Like, I see these pictures and I am so happy with them. And then this is where I want you to, when you take the pictures, recognize, like, see this and be like, wow, this light is gorgeous. There's nobody in the background. And they all look adorable. So stay here and take more pictures here. Don't move. Because I think after here we went to under the tree, which we obviously got 2 pictures there too, but we could definitely do with some more pictures in this light. Like, it's so dreamy. I'm absolutely loving it. Okay, this is so cute. I love how you had everyone laughing naturally. If you wanted to improve it, tilt your camera down slightly so that we don't crop off their hands, so that we could see their hands and it would be even better. But this expression here is so great. It's awesome. I love it. Doesn't even matter if they don't have hands. This is so cute too. Oh my gosh, I love that picture. Such a good job. I really like how you had them framed in this tree and they are sitting here. Only thing to be careful about is having stuff come out of people's heads. So Mom currently has a tree growing out of her head, which maybe she won't notice. It doesn't matter. It's in the background, but just be careful about that kind of thing. If you are here, you could take one step to your left, and then this would be in between Mom and daughter. It'll be fine. Okay, I love these shots of Dad and son on the shoulders. This here is one of my favorite shots from the whole shoot. I love the way that you cropped his head in half to be able to fill up the frame. It's just perfect. And this is what makes such a beautiful diptych or triptych or whatever, like these side by side. Ugh, dying. It's so gorgeous. So good. And the light here is absolutely beautiful. You have the bokeh in the background. It's soft. There's no bright light on anybody's face. Like, this here is the stuff that I'm talking about. Like these and these. If you bring back pictures that look like this every time, I will freak out. I love it. Like, this lighting is so beautiful. And this is a really good representation of our brand. Like, the look that our brand has. The Happy Film Company is very bright and glowy and kind of yellowy, golden. And we get these fun little series that we put together and cropping like this. It is just so good. I'm so happy with those. Those are awesome. Okay. And then final shots. So I really like having these side by side. I would say to improve this one, see this negative space above their head? It's not necessary. I think their heads are right in the middle because you were focusing with your center focal point. If you just tilt the camera down more and crop at their waist, then they fill the frame and it's about them and we don't have this extra space above them. It looks really nice that way. Watch out for his little toes, but otherwise I think this is super cute. Again, we have kind of stuff in front, but this is okay. I kind of like it because there's like stuff coming all the way down the side. Like this is not random. It was random in the other pictures, but now you can see where it's coming from, and it's clear that they're kind of hiding behind a bush. It's kind of funky. I like it. And then this here, this is their best family portrait. Like this smiley at the camera picture, like you nailed it right here. Like this is the thing that goes above their fireplace or above the couch in the living room, you know? Like that's the picture. When we take a smiley shot, that's what I'm always envisioning. Like, could this picture hang in their living room? And this picture definitely could. This is awesome. Everyone's looking, everyone's smiling, everyone's cute. They're all tucked together and touching each other, and they look casual. And the background, I had to clean up the background a little. There were some cars, but that was not your fault. They were just parked on the street. You couldn't do much about it. The only thing you could do is actually lie on your belly on the ground so that they block the cars with their bodies. But that doesn't matter. Let's not focus on it. This is a really good shot. That's the kind of shot that they buy and print. So we definitely need that for the sake of business. And then shots like this, they love this, and they'll put that in albums or put that on their fridge or whatever. But that type of shot, even though we are crazy in love with it, we don't put it above our fireplace usually. People usually put this one above the fireplace. So we want to make sure we take both of those, because if the whole shoot looks like this, we've lost the personality. And then this one was originally like this, but I cropped it in because I think Mom was blinking and whatever. So I just got rid of their heads. I might crop it in a little bit more actually, because this was so cute. But you can take pictures like this in camera. You don't have to wait for me to crop it. So once you know you've got this group shot, crawl in really close and have everybody just like keep smiling at me, but you're actually only taking a picture down here. And if you're down here, you could even end up saying, everybody tickle him, and everyone smile down at him, and then maybe you could just, up here, you just see some smiles. Kind of like this. It's about him, but you just see some smiles on the corners. You could do that here. So yeah, that's all of them. Thank you so much. I'm sorry for such a long tutorial video, but like, I just wanted to walk you all through that. So careful of stuff in front, careful of stuff behind. Careful of depth. There's good depth and bad depth. Stick with the good light when you find it. And overall, I'm so thrilled with these pictures, especially since it was your first solo shoot. So really super good job, and I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Have a good day. Bye.